a central character named Lancho. He has a farm. They were in his farm. The ripe corn were dotted with the flowers, and he was hoping for the rain. And finally, the rain came. And after the rain, suddenly a hailstorm came. And due to that hailstorm, his farm was completely ruined. Now he becomes very helpless. He becomes very sad because he has nothing to eat, nothing to so he hasn't even money. So that is what the first part. Now we will talk about the further story. What will happen to him now? So let's get started. Okay. But in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope: help from God. So, as we talked about earlier, that Lencho was very faithful man. He has a very much faith in the God, and that is the reason he has a single hope, that is help from God. Not even that. Not even in the not even the Lencho, but the whole family who lives in that solitary, that aloof, that a single house which was situated on that entire valley. The whole family members in the hearts of all the people who are living there, they all have the one single hope, that is help from the God. Don't be so upset. Even though this seems like a total loss, remember, no one dies of hunger. Now, these are the dialogue, we can say it's of the woman of the house. And she is consoling her husband that don't be so upset. Even though this seems like a total loss, remember, no one dies of hunger. See, the total loss. The farm was completely ruined. The field was completely ruined. Still, she is hoping that something good will happen, and she even told him that no one dies of hunger. And like a puppet, Lencho is repeating the same thing, that's what they say, no one dies of hunger. So they resembles the people here. Okay, so people usually say that no one dies of hunger. So he also believes the same. All through the night, Lencho thought only of his one hope, the help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. Conscience means an inner sense of right and wrong. So all through the night, he thought only one thing, that God will come to help me, and he believed that God eyes sees everything. As from the childhood, we were instructed that God sees everything, whether we are doing good or bad, whether we are feeling happy or sad. He knows everything. He is the Almighty, and that is what Lencho also believes. So he thinks that what is even in the one's conscience, okay, whatever one person is thinking, God is aware of his thought. So that's what Lencho. Lencho was an ox of a man. Now it is the characteristics of the Lencho, how he was. He was an ox of a man. Ox is the metaphor of a hard work. So he was very hard working man, working like an animal in the fields, but still he knew how to ride. He was working like an animal, so he doesn't seize the day and night or the season. He works like an animal in the field, but still he knew how to ride. He hasn't that much plenty of time to expand his learning or wisdom, but still he knew how to write. So he is educate enough to write a letter. So what he did the following Sunday, so that means the next Sunday, at daybreak. Daybreak, that means in the morning. Okay. So the following Sunday in the morning, he began to write a letter which he himself would carry to town and place in the mail. It was nothing less than a letter to God. So the next Sunday in the morning, what he does, he writes a letter. He begins to write a letter, and he himself that he himself want to carry to the town and place into the mailbox. And it was nothing less than a letter to God. To whom he was writing a letter? To God. Now that's is the interesting part of the story comes. God, he wrote. Now these are the same things that he has written on the letter. If you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. So he is pleading to the God that you have to help me, otherwise me, I and my entire family will starve, will go hungry. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes. Because the hailstorm, dot, dot, dot. Now, he hasn't completed the line because he knew inside that God knows everything. He believes in that God knows everything. So I don't have to clarify why I need that thing and whatever. Right. So what he does, he writes a letter to God, and what he says that you have to help me because my family and I have to starve if you won't help me. And what amount he needed? He needed 100 pesos. Pesos is again a Latin currency of several Latin American countries. Okay, so he asked 100 pesos. Why he asked 100 pesos? Not just for to live happily, but he wanted to sow his field again. Okay, he needed money to sow his field again. Otherwise, how he could survive the next day? If this time God will help, then what about the next time? So he needed this amount, this sum of the amount to sow his field again and to live until the crop comes. Okay, so that's what he has written. He wrote to God on the envelope. Now the address on the envelope, what was that? To God only. No other information, resident address, nothing is mentioned. Just one thing, that is to God. Put the letter inside and still troubled went to town. Still he is troubled. His problem is not getting any solution right now. So he is still troubled, but still he went to the town, and at the post office he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. Finally, he put the letter into the mailbox. Okay, next. One of the employees who was a postman and also helped at the post office went to the boss, laughing heartily, and showed him the letter to God. Never in his career as a postman had he known that address. Now, what happened next? That one of the employees who was a postman. Okay, so now the postman, when he collect the letters to deliver it to maybe classified or distinguish it, so when he uh, opened that mailbox, what he find a letter where, and over the letter what was written? To God. Now he was laughing very heartily, and he even showed this letter to his boss, that is the post manager, right? And he is in a very funny, and it is very hilarious things to anyone. I mean, a letter that is even the name of the God. I mean, where does it reside? We never knew it. Okay, so he was laughing very hard. And the postmaster, now the boss of this postman, the postmaster, a fat amiable fellow. He was a bit fat. Amiable, that means a very friendly and very pleasant person. So he was very friendly and pleasant, and fat person also broke out laughing. So the postmaster also started laughing. But almost immediately he turned serious. But suddenly, immediately he turned serious. So after laughing, he became very serious and tapping the letter on his desk, commented, "What faith? I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter, starting up a correspondence with God." So now this postmaster, he became very serious and he thought that what kind of man, what kind of writer this is. He has a complete faith in the God that God will somehow this letter will somehow uh, is going to receive by the God, and God will answer his letter. Not only answer his letter, but God will also help him with the amount that he has demanded. And he was completely shaken with the faith of this writer. Correspondence means the communication through the uh, language, through the letters. Okay, so here the writer has started correspondence. Writer has started communication through the God with the help of the letters. So it is a very extraordinary thing. It never happens in anyone's life. So the postmaster is very much amused with this letter. So, in order not to shake the writer's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea. Now, postmaster is a very fine and gentle man, so he wanted that the writer's faith in the God. He don't wanted to shake the writer's faith in the God, and so he got an idea. And what is the idea that he want to reply? The only thing which is possible, that is the answer, the reply of that letter. So answer the letter, that is the only idea he has came across. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it, he needed something more than goodwill, ink and paper. But when he started to propagate this idea, what happened that he understand that apart from a goodwill, ink and paper, what he other things require, that 100 pesos. Now, if he won't put any money inside the envelope, any money inside the answer, reply of that letter, it would be of nothing, because the writer of the letter is expecting money, not just the verbal uh, verbal reply. But he stuck to his resolution. He asked for money from his employees. He himself gave part of his salary, and several friends of his were obliged to give something for an act of charity. So what he started collecting money from his employees from here. He even gave a part of his salary, and he even asked for his several other friends. And finally, he has achieved something. Let's see what he has achieved. It was impossible for him to gather the 100 pesos. So he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. So finally, what happens that he was the 100 pesos amount is bit large for him, but somehow he managed to collect more than half. That means more than 50 pesos he has collected yet. So he put the money in the envelope addressed to Lencho, and with it a letter containing only a single word as a signature, God. So apart from this God, he hasn't written anything on the paper. He has put the money in the envelope and the letter, and what was written on that letter? God. Okay. comprehension check. As I told you earlier in the earlier video, you have to write down the answers in the comment section below. First question was that who or what did Lencho have faith in? What did he do? Second, who read the letter? And the third one, what did the postmaster do then? Okay, we'll not stop here. We'll go further as we are about the end of the story. The following Sunday, Lancho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him. Now the moment comes when the Lancho will get that envelope, which has more than 50 pesos of amount. Okay, so the following Sunday, what happened that Lancho came a bit earlier because he needed money. Of course, he is a bit worried. So he came a bit earlier and to ask whether his letter, he got any letter or not. It was the postman himself who handed the letter to him while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment means satisfaction, experiencing the contentment of a man who has performed a good deed, looked on from his office. Now the same postman, of course, if we have done something good, so we are very excited to get the result of it. So similarly happens with here. Similarly happened here. The postman himself went out to hand him the letter, which was written by the postmaster, of course, and the postmaster, he wants to experience that satisfactions, that contentment, and he was watching this writer, the Lancho, on the corner of his office. Lancho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money. Now it is a bit amusing that, I mean, God will never, if we write a letter, God will never reply us because we don't know the address, and God doesn't exist in the shape of the human beings. And if they exist, we don't know their existence even. Okay, so here Lencho was not surprised because he has full faith in God. So he doesn't show any kind of surpriseness seeing the money. When he sees the money, he was not surprised at all. Such was his confidence. He was even confident even. But he became angry when he counted the money. Now the problem comes. Okay, when he counted money, it was only 70 pesos because postmaster was able to collect only that sum of the amount. So he was very angry. Nor could he have denied, God could not have made a mistake, nor could he have denied Lencho what he had requested. So now he became angry because he knew that God will never deny his demand. And second thing was that he will never made a mistake. So if he has asked 100 pesos, that means he will definitely get 100 pesos, not a penny less or not a penny more. So he is very angry with this. Now let's see what he does. Okay. Immediately, Lancho went up to the window to ask for paper and ink. Now, immediately what he does, he went to the window and he asked for paper and ink. Definitely, he is going to write a second letter to the court. On the public writing table, he started to write with much wrinkling of his brow caused by the effort he had to make to express his ideas. Okay, so he is very much troubled and angry, and his brows, that brows here means eyebrows, of course, but it means here the forehead. So he was his forehead was much wrinkling because he is thinking too much. Why he is thinking too much? Because he has to make some effort to express his ideas. He was not that much learned man, but somehow he learned to write. That is the big thing for him. So he hasn't that much verbal um, abilities to express his ideas. So that is the reason. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp which he licked and then affixed to the envelope with a blow of his fist. So finally, he wrote the letter. He bought a stamp and he licked it, and he affixed that stamp on the envelope with a blow of his fist. The moment the letter fell into the mailbox, the postmaster went to open it. He is very now curiosity. Of course, it is much more higher than the Lencho, because Lencho has might Lencho, of course, he has the full faith in the God, but he was not sure that when God will reply him. But now here, what happened, that postmaster know that letter is dropped into the mailbox, so he is very much curious that what Lencho has written, that he might have written a note of thank or something, what gratitude. Okay, it said, now what is written on the letter? God, of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reached in me. Send me the rest, since I need it very much. But don't send it to me through the mail, because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. Ledger. I hope you guys are I hope you guys are getting what is written here. Let me simplify it. What he has written, that thank you so much. What he has written, that God, I have got 70 pesos. Okay, I only got 70 pesos. Send me the rest. So since I had needed very much. So earlier he has demanded that I want 100 pesos, but I got 70 pesos. So I need the rest, that is 30 pesos amount, because he needed very much. So he don't want to be satisfied with that amount. He need the complete amount, that is 100 pesos. So he is bit angry. That is the reason of his anger. And what not he don't even stop there. What he says that uh don't send it to me through the mail. Don't send me through the mail, because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. Crooks means they are cheats. Okay, so they cheated him. They have stole the amount of 30 pesos. Not and so he is very angry, and that is the reason he asked God that please send me the rest of the amount through someone else, not through the mail. Okay, now the situation that uh, we have here, it is called the irony. Okay, I have written it on the left side of your screen. You can see irony. The irony is a situation is the irony of a situation is an unexpected aspect of it. An ironic situation is a strange or amusing because it is the opposite of what is expected. Okay, now what happened? The same thing is here. Okay, Lancho is thinking that post employees are bunch of crooks. They have stole the 30 pesos of amount. But in reality, what is that? The post office employees are the only one. They had the Lancho with these 70 pesos amounts. Now it is completely opposite situation, and it is bit amusing. It is bit we'll find some laughter in it. But when it comes to Lancho, it is not amusing. It is very disturbing and disappointing. He considers these post employees as a person who steals some money. thieves, right? Okay, so that's where our story ends. Um, Oral comprehension checks again. What's first question? Was Lencho surprised to find a letter for him with money in it? What made him angry? And further questions are here thinking about the text. Uh, Guys, I will send you the whole chapter in the PDF format. You will soon get it. And please write down the answers in the comment sections below. Uh, and let me know how does this story amuse you as well or not. I hope you guys has enjoyed the story. Please read the story once, go through the story once. You will definitely going to enjoy. It is going to be very interesting since you have understood it very clearly. So difficulty won't be there. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. Have a good day.